नमामि शंकराचार्य गुरुपाद सरोरुहम् यस्य प्रसादान् मूढोऽपि सर्वज्ञोऽहं सदा भवम् कामाक्षी करुणारूपं कामकोटि जगद्गुरुं चिन्मूर्तिं कलये चित्ते शंकराचार्यमव्ययम् वेद वेदांत साम्राज्य धर्म कामार्थ मोक्षदम् विद्यारण्यं नमः पुण्यं यो विद्यारण्यमध्यनत् सदाशिव श्री ब्रह्मेन्द्र धृत स्वपद पादुकान् धीरान् परशुवेन्द्रार्यान् ध्यायामि सततं हृदि अपार करुणा सिन्धुं ज्ञानदं शान्तरूपिणं श्री चन्द्रशेखर गुरुं प्रणमामि मुदान्वः देवे देहे च देशे च भक्त्यारोग्य सुखप्रदं बुध पामर सेव्यन्तं श्री जयेन्द्रं नमाम्यहं नमामि शंकरान्वाख्यं जयेन्द्र सरस्वती श्री गुरुं शिष्टमार्गान् नेतारं सर्वतिप्रदं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. In this auspicious year of Shri Shankara Bhagavatpāda's 2500th Aradhana having been completed, with the occasion of our Shri Kanchi Kamakoti Moolamnaya Sarvagya Peethadipati Jagadguru Shankaracharya Sriman Shankara Vijayam Saraswati Shankaracharya Swamigal completing his Rameshwara Tirtha Yatra by himself performing Abhisheka to Ramanatha Swami with the prarthana of doing Anusandhanam of the original Shankara Vijaya texts. We have begun this prayatna of examining the text one by one. Now we are in the process of examining the Anandagiriya Shankara Vijaya, and this Shankara Vijaya is composed by one Anandagiri, who identifies himself as the direct disciple of Shri Bhagavatpāda, and later on, it is not only later on, everywhere throughout this text it is quite clear that from the style, from the content, from the detail, that he has observed these things and he is presenting them as the direct disciple of Bhagavatpāda. So, up to the previous fourth prakarana, which has been completed, we have seen how Bhagavatpāda did the what is called the Nirakarana of the Shaiva Mata. Normally in Bhagavatpāda's Namavadi we read Dvisaptati Matotchetre Namaha. But apart from this text, probably there is no such other detailed record of how Bhagavatpāda actually set about and what was the nature of Bhagavatpāda doing the Nirakarana of the Veda Bha Matas. What is the meaning of Nirakarana? So it is very clear that we can understand from by examining this Shankara Vijaya Anandagiriya that by the word Nirakarana, the only thing that is meant is whatever is beyond what is said in the Veda and the Vedika texts, whatever has proper Shastriya Pramana, whatever is other than that, only those parts are being refuted. Because we can very well see that all these, a lot of these matas at least, they are quoting so many passages from the Veda. So they are also giving respect to the Veda. They also perceive Veda as the Parama Pramana. But the thing is that they quote the Veda, they quote some part of it to establish something, but they extend it to something else that is not present in the Veda. And that we can see by examining these texts. And in the previous chapter, right now, the very first thing is taken up is that of the Shaiva Mata. Bhagavatpāda himself is the avatar of Shiva. Why would he speak against Shaivas? It's not that he is speaking against Shaivas. He is pointing out that just by performing some few physical activities that these people are giving excessive insistence to, that is not sufficient for moksha. That is all Bhagavatpāda is pointing out, that we have seen in the previous chapter where one Shaiva Acharya by name of Vidvesha Veera, he was indeed a very great Shiva Bhakta, but he was very much engrossed in that various kinds of symbols of Shiva should be worn all over the body. So he and his followers So Bhagavatpada, and he quoted lots of Shruti Vakyas to prove that Shiva is great. And he even quoted those Vakyas which are normally understood as being Vishnu Para, and he said that those Vakyas are also Shiva Para. And Bhagavatpada, in the end, he pointed out very, very in a gentle manner by saying, yes, what you are saying is right. That is how Bhagavatpada starts. So Bhagavatpada points out that whatever he has said about the other person, the Vidvesha Veera, has said about Shiva being great, there is absolutely no doubt about that. How can there be any objection to that? But whatever additional things that he is saying, he has not given proper pramana for it. That just by wearing all these symbols on the body, that one can attain moksha. So that is what Bhagavatpada has clarified though, and he did Upadesha of Advaita to that Vidvesha Veera, and by the fruit of whatever Shivopasana that he has done so far, he attains the understanding of the Advaita Siddhanta and he accepts Bhagavatpada's Upadesha. But listen, hearing of this, so many other Shaivas got very much incensed and they come to Bhagavatpada and they object to him. So that so thus starts the fifth Prakarana. Kechana Pitharchana Nirataha Phale Taptalinga Dharanaha. Some people who give more importance to the Archana of the Pithas, and Pithas means Shaiva Pithas, and they wear Shivalingas symbols on their foreheads, and but apart from that they are wearing white vibhuti all over. Shubra vibhuti bhushita sarvangaha shirah kantha bahushu sahasra parinita rudraksha malika bhushitaha. They are wearing thousands of rudrakshas all over their body, and some of their names are given here. Pratipaksha Chanda Bhairava, Vipaksha Shula, Bhattagraganya, Paramata Kalanaladayaha, Shri Shankara Vijayam Drishva Idamuchuhu. So they came to Bhagavatpada and they spoke to him. Kastvam Sannyasi, no, who are you, Sannyasi? Shatvidha Shaivacharam, Sakala Veda Pramanam Parityaja, Vidvesha Veeradin, Matabhrashtan Katva, Kantum Ayatto Bhavasi. No, there are 6 kinds of Shaivacharas, so they say, and it is everything is from Veda Pramana only. And you not only have you forsaken that Shaivachara, but you also caused Vidvesha Veera to be Matabhrashta, to fall from his Shaiva Mata, and you are fully starting to go away. Pratipaksha Chanda Bhairamam Mam Vidhi. So I am Pratipaksha Chanda Bhairava. Kim Shaiva Nyonata Asti? What? Are you saying that there is something wrong with Shaiva? By a confrontational attitude. That is not what Bhagavatpada says. So he says that whatever, if there is the tree of Astika Dharma, and the pinnacle of that is Shaiva. That is how he says, Shaivagrangatasya Arudhavataram Kivartham Bhagdikkatam. Why did you cause that Vidvesha Veera to fall once he has climbed the tree of Dharma? Rudrasya Paramatvam Nasti iti yadi uchyate. Are you saying that Rudra is not the greatest? Even the Veda says that Rudra is the greatest. How? Namaste Rudramanyavauto Teshabe, all these Rudra passages, Shatarudriya passages are there. So Veda Purushopi, Rudra Stutyartham Upakramya, Tat Swarupasya Adhirodratvat, Sarvottamatvacha, Epamana Shariraha, Chiram Tushnim Sthitva. So the Veda Purusha himself, he began to do study of Rudra, but then once he approaches Rudra, he sees how great is the Rudra Swarupa, and the Veda Purusha himself feels that it was an aparadha for him to even presume that he would be able to praise the great Shiva Swarupa. And Vepamana Sharira, he developed, his body started to shake, and he wanted to do expiation for his mistake. Swa aparadha nivirtage Pratipadam Namaskara Parasarame Stuti Makaro. So Pratipadam Pade Pade, we say Pradakshina Pade Pade, and Pade Pade, somebody is doing something. Pade Pade means at every step is the normal meaning, but here Pade means at each word or phrase, because we very well know that the entire Rudra Prashna, he says Namaha, Namaha, Namaha. The same word keeps coming. So the Veda Purusha keeps doing Namaskara to Rudra. So all these passages show that Shiva is the greatest. And even Purusha Sukta, which is normally considered, some other people consider that, other people apart from these Shaivas, they consider that Purusha Sukta describes Narayana, but that also describes Rudra only. I will prove it. How? Tasya Sahasrashirashatvam, Sahasrakshatvam, Sahasrabhatvam Siddhameva. So I've already mentioned the Shri Rudra, and in the Shri Rudra itself it is said Namas Sahasrakshayecha Shatadharmanecha. So when the Rudra itself is saying that Shiva is Sahasraksha, so whoever is mentioned as Sahasraksha Purusha in the Purusha Sukta, he also has to be Rudra only. There is no such mention of Vishnu in that Sukta. It is only said as Purusha. So that Purusha has to be Shiva only. And this also is in accord with the other Shruti Vakyas, Vishwatashchakshurata Vishwatomka. He whose eye sees everywhere, he whose speech goes everywhere, he whose hands are powerful everywhere, he whose feet are able to travel everywhere. That Shiva is who is mentioned here in the Purusha Sukta. And somebody can ask, Sahasrashirasham Devam Vishwam Narayanam Devam is another Veda passage. So how can you say that this Sahasrashirasha Purusha is Shiva? But I will prove it. You have to understand that you have to do samanvaya of various Shruti Vakyas, and I will show Shruti Vakya which says that whatever is at the end has to be accepted. So there is this Shvetashvatara Upanishad, and it says that Sarvanana Shirogrivaha Sarvabhuta Guhashayaha Sarvavyapi Sa Bhagavan Tasmat Sarvagata Shivaha. So this Shvetashvatara Upanishad says that Shiva, whose faces are everywhere, who lives in the heart of every being, who is Bhagavan, that Bhagavan is Shiva, is what Shvetashvatara tells us. So, based on the samanvaya of these Shruti Vakyas, we can say that Shiva is the import of the Purusha Sukta also. And but then somebody comes and says, Arey, how can you say this? Because very clearly in the Purusha Sukta it is said, Krishtade Lakshmishcha Patyau Ahoratre Parshve, and so on. It is very well known that Lakshmi is the consort of Mahavishnu. How can you say that Purusha Sukta refers to Shiva? Then the Shaiva says, Hri means Ganga and Lakshmi means Parvati. Then will everybody accept this? They will say, Arey, if you by your own desire, you are giving some meaning to some word, how is it acceptable? He says, no, this is said in the Skanda Purana. So, Himadre Rapadan Maulo Ganga Rudrasya Vegataha Tadiya Bhara Sambhrantaha Yavaditam Sadashivaha. So when Ganga fell, then Parameshwara, suddenly he was said Sambhranta Iva, as if he was taken aback by the speed of Ganga. Said, Hrimati Bhava, Natyuchair Vartaswa Prapya Maniha. So you should understand, oh Ganga, you should understand how to behave in front of elders. You should have some Vinaya, some Lajja. You should not show so much speed in front of elders. So Purusham Purushashreshtam Brahma Vishnu Adikaranam. Since I am the Mula Purusha, Sadam Natva Mahadevam Tada Prabhuti Bhaktitaha. And Ganga realized her mistake, and she says, Ya Jatasu Milita Hririti Prachate Buddhi. So the Ganga came into the Jata Makuta of Parameshwara and with Lajja. That is why Ganga is known as Hri. And Rudrayamala says, Tasyanka Manchama Arudha Saktar Maheshwari Para Mahalakshmi Ridikhyata Shama Sarva Manohara. So the Devi Maheshwari Shakti, who is on the lap of Parameshwara, she is known as Mahalakshmi. It is said so in these other granthas. And I will give you one more clarification. When it is said Ahoratre Parshve, it is only applicable in the case of Shiva, because Shiva's right half is his own half, in which it is pure pristine white, and so it is as if it is daytime, because daytime is white and nighttime is dark. So based on that, the right half of Shiva is Ahas, it is the day part, and the left part of Shiva is the Devi's part, and Devi is dark in complexion. So that part is the night part. So this is very naturally applicable to Shiva only. And then there is another text, another Upanishad by name of Atharvashiras, in which Parameshwara himself speaks of his greatness to all the devatas. He says that I am Vidya, I am Avidya, I am what is in east or towards west, what is towards south, what is towards north, what is below, what is above, and what is in the directions, what is in the interim directions, northeast, southwest, and so on, and what is male and female, and what is other than that, and what is known as Savitri or Gayatri or Trishtup, Jagati, Anushtup, all these chandases. I am that, and I am Garhavata, I am Dakshinagni, I am Ahavaniya, I am Jyeshtha, I am the firstborn, I am Shrestha, I am the most qualified, I am Varishtha, I am the most desirable, and Pavitramaham, I am the most purifier, the best purifier. And so, whatever, whether inside or outside, everything, that Jyotish Swarupa, which encompasses all these things, that is I am, is what Parameshwara Ityadina Bhagavato Vishwarupattam Pradarshitam Vyapaka Chaitanyasya Rudrasaiva. So that Parameshwara himself shows that he is Sarvatmaka. And the name Rudra is Rudya Sushaktya Lokan Dravayati Rudra. He who is able to melt the whole world, all the worlds. At the time of Pralaya, Shiva dissolves all these worlds into himself. So he is known as Rudra. And all these things are very clearly said in the Shiva Rahasya. Dheyatve Tavasarno Muniganaha. O Parameshwara, who is Sakshi, who is witness to the fact that you are the person, the one who is fit to be meditated upon. All these sages, they are all meditating upon you only. Jnana Pradatve Shukaha. Shuka is the witness that you are the person to give Jnana. Vantyatve Nigamaha. The Vedas are the witness that you are fit to be worshipped. Swabhakta Vivatakranto Kritantadayaha. When somebody does something wrong to a Shiva Bhakta, then Shiva will give danda there. Or who is Brahmana, who is witness to this? Yama and so many others. When Yama tried to give Himsa to Markandeya, it is well known that Shiva kicked him. So that is Pramana for that. And Nityatve Bhagavat Pitamaha Shiras Ratbrandam. So the head of Brahma, because Pitamaha, when he was earlier, it is said that he had 5 heads, and because he was Garvita, Parameshwara plucked off one of his heads. But nevertheless, nothing happened to Parameshwara. So he is not affected by all these things. He is permanent. And Adyantayo Shunyatvecha, who is witness to that Parameshwara has neither beginning nor end. Varaha Hamsa Vapusho Patmaksha Patmasanau. Patmaksha, the lotus side Narayana, who took the form of Varaha and went below to search. And Padmasana, he who is seated on the lotus Brahma, who took the form of a Hamsa Pakshi and who went up to search. It is very well known. And they were not able to find either the beginning or the end of Shiva. So all these Brahmanas show that Shiva is the greatest, and even for the expiation of sins, it is said Bhasmachanno Bhasmashidya Shajanaha Putradhyayi Muchate Sarvabhapehi. If one wanted to do a prayaschitta, then one should anoint himself with Bhasma throughout his body, and you should lie on a bed of Bhasma and do Rudra Japa. It is said here. And Koti Janmarjita Punyaihi Shive Bhakti Prajayate. So unless and otherwise you do Punya in a Koti Janmas, you will not get Shiva Bhakti. So Shiva Bhakti is itself the result of so much Punya. Bhunatraki Muktena Yasya Bhakti Shivedrha Mahababa Upapapadi Koti Krasto Apimuchate. Whoever has deep devotion to Shiva, even though he may be afflicted by great Mahabhaptakas or Upapatakas, he will be absolved of all those Shiva sins. It is so, it is said in the Shiva Gita. Iti Shiva Gita Dhroktehe Punarvi Shiva Gita Munin Prati Suta Idamaha. So further on in the Shiva Gita, Suta tells to the sages, Dharmartha Kama Mokshanam Param Yasyatha Jayanavai Munayastat pravakshami vratam pashupata vidam. Oh sages, I will tell you that vrata which is pleasing to Pashupati, which will give you, which will take you to the far end of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And so, what are you to do? Kritva tu virajan diksham. So, by doing viraja homa and taking the bhasma as per procedure, bhuti rudraksha dharanam, where the bhasma and where rudrakshas, japanstu vedasarakyam shivanama sahasrakam. So, there is a Shiva Sahasranama in the Padma Purana, and the Veda Sara. It is called as the Veda Sara Sahasranama. And another point to note, special point, is that our own 57th Peethadipati, Srimad Paramashivendra Saraswati Shri Charana, has done a Vyakhyana of this Shiva Sahasranama, especially, and by doing japa of that Shiva Sahasranama, Santyajya Sayatera Martyatvam Shailim Tanumavapsetha. So you will be devoid of this mortal body and you will get the Shaiva form. Tatah prasanno Bhagavan Shankaro Loka Shankaraha Bhavatan Drishyatametya Kaivalyam Bhavpradasyati. So Shankara, who does Mangala to the whole world, he will become visible to you and he will give you Kaivalya. This is what the first Shaiva Bhakta who came here by name of Pratipaksha Chanda Bhairava. So this is his presentation, and then Vipaksha Shula, another Shaiva, he says, I will give you some more quotations. Even the Taittiriya Upanishad, in the part which is called as Narayana Upanishad, it says that in the mantra starting from Kadrudraya Prajayatse, it says Sarvohyesha Rudraha. It says that all these is of the form of Rudra, and it says that whatever is born and whatever is about to be born, Jatam Jayamanam Jayat Sarvohyesha Rudraha, all this is of the form of Rudra. And so from all these Shruti Smritis, it is very clear that Shiva is Sarvatmaka, he is Sarvantaryami and Sarva Utkrishta, he is above everything and he is within everything and he controls everything from inside. And so, Yatra Yatra Sadatma Brahma Purusha Sadharanatmaka Sadharana Vacharatmaka Suktani Vartante Dhari Sarvani Shivaparangivo. So, wherever you find the word Sat, Atma, Brahma, Purusha, and all these generic words are applicable to Shiva only. And we also have the mantra which says Sada Shivo. And so it shows that he is the greatest, he is the Adhipati of everything. And this is where he adds something. It says, so because of that, you should wear the symbols of Shiva. But where in all these Shrutis so far mentioned, is there any mention of wearing symbols of Shiva in the body? They are all Shiva Mahimapara Shrutis, no doubt of that. But they do not say that you should wear Shiva Chinhas on your body. But this is how they are adding something. And but he, nevertheless, he keeps going ahead. He says, he quotes from the Kaivalya Upanishad, and in the passage known as Dharopasana, Krit Pundarekam Viradam Vishuddham, the lotus of the heart, we should meditate upon it, that it is totally devoid of blemishes and any faults, and that Paramatma who is there in that Hridaya Pundarika, who is he? Anantarupam Shivam Prashantam Abritam. So he is Shiva. Then somebody can say, oh, Shiva means Mangala, so it does not necessarily mean Shiva only. Then he goes ahead to quote further, Umasahayam Parameshwaram, he who is along with his consort Uma Devi, who is Brahmavidyambika Swarupini. So, is there the Trilochanam, Neelakantham, all these are very clear. The three-eyed God whose neck is dark, these are all very clearly referring to Shiva only. And he is Shiva, he is Brahma, he is Vishnu, he is Indra, and he is Agni, he is Surya, he is Chandra. And so whatever was born and whatever is about to be born, whatever is Sanatana, whatever is permanent, everything is Shiva. And by knowing that Shiva only, one can cross Mritu, the cycle of deaths, births and deaths, Nanya Panthaha. So there is no other path to attain moksha. So all these Shrutis are giving the greatness of Shiva, and we should definitely wear all these symbols such as Vibhuti And further on, the greatness of Vibhuti has been explained in the Kalagni Rudropanishad, where it is said that Sanat Kumara went and asked Bhagavan Kalagni Rudra, who is none other than an Amsha or Shiva. He asked Kalagni Rudra, what is the tattva of Tripundra Dharana, Bhasma Dharana, and what are the, how many lines are to be worn, and what is the effect, Kim Phalam, what is the effect of doing Bhasma Dharana, and then it goes ahead to say Ko Mantraha, so what are the mantras which is to be which are to be used for Bhasma Dharana, and it goes on to describe how Kalagni Rudra gives the procedure. So all these are very clear indications that we have to do Bhasma Dharana, and a person who wears this, he will become Shiva himself. So that is how they describe. And then he says, Ato Vibhuti Dharana Mahima Bhaktum Nashakyate Kenapi. So it is not possible to easily express what is the greatness of the Bhasma Dharana Mahima. So whoever may be, they have to do Bhasma Dharana Avashya. So, and even along with that, even Rudraksha is to be worn. For that also, Pramanas are there. Sirshe, Kanthe, Karnayoshta, in Agastya Samhita, it is said in one's head, in one's neck, and in one's ears, and in one's shoulders, we have to wear Rudraksha. And that is how it is mentioned here. So, all these things he says that Vipaksha Shula, and listening to all this, Bhagavatpāda says, okay, fine, but what is said here, you have to examine clearly. It is here, it is said that the greatness of Shiva is said, there is no doubt about it. But wearing all these symbols, what we mentioned earlier, it is not mentioned here, and we have to examine. We find that these are against the other pramanas which are there in the Shastras. So you cannot say that this is part of the Shrutyartha, and you say, then you say that there is the in the Dharopasana, the meditation of Shiva is prescribed. Yes, definitely. Umasahaya adi dhammayuktasya rudrasya upasanaya api moksha upasanaya api moksha asti eva. So by doing upasana of Parameshwara along with Uma Devi, then definitely it will give you moksha. There is no doubt about it. Tasya Parabrahma Avataratvat, because Shiva is the avatar of Parabrahma. Tapriteje Vibhuti Rudraksha Dharana Avashyam Kartavyameva. So whatever is prescribed in the Shastras, Vibhuti Dharana, Rudraksha Dharana, that is prescribed in the Shastras. But all these other things that you are saying, there is no pramana for them in the Shastras. So he very gently points out, and they have nothing further to say because they themselves realize that. And then another of the devotees by name Bhakta, his name itself is Bhaktagraganya. He was a great devotee, and this by name he is Bhaktagraganya, and he tries to quote some other Shruti. He says in the Taittiriya Shruti, it is the Tripura Samhara of Parameshwara, it is described when the Devas and Asuras were engaged in war. The Asuras had 3 fortresses, flying fortresses. One was iron made, another one was made of silver, another one was made of gold, and through using those fortresses, the Asuras were doing battle, and the Devas were not able to destroy those fortresses, and so they prayed to Shiva, and they prayed to Vishnu to become the missile, the or the bhana, you can call it the arrow or the missile, and they prayed to Parameshwara that you should do prayoga of this missile. You should launch this missile against the enemy. And of course, this Tripura Samhara story is said variously in various texts, but in other Puranas it is said that he laughed, and by that alone he destroyed the Tripuras. It is said in other Purana, but here in the Shruti itself it is very clearly said that he actually launched the missile, or he discharged the arrow, and that went and hit its target and destroyed the Asuras. So, because of this, he goes ahead to say, the Bhaktagraganya says, all the Devas started wearing lingas and trishulas. So, where is it said in that Shruti? You don't know. That is what he says. and says that all the devas started wearing trishulas and lingas. They started wearing bhasma rudraksha. They understood the greatness of Shiva, and they started wearing spatika and started doing panchakshari japa, and they bowed their head and did puja to Parameshwara. So we should also do like that. Then Bhagavatpāda says, so where is it said? The Devatas were wearing Bhuti Rudraksha. Okay, it may be given in some other Purana. Even that is not mentioned in this Shruti Vakya. But there is no word in this Shruti to indicate that they were wearing the symbols of Shiva or they were carrying Trishulas. If somebody else is carrying the Trishula out of some kind of devotion, this is wish, but you cannot say that it is going to give him moksha. So there is no such pramana, is what Bhagavatpāda pointed out. Further, Bhagavatpāda says, okay, you yourself have quoted the Kaivalya Upanishad. Let's see what is there in the Kaivalya Upanishad. It says, Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana Yoga Davaihi. It says that the path to know about one's own self, the Parabrahman, which is none other than Atma Swarupa. Atma Swarupa means one's own Swarupa, is Shraddha Bhakti Dhyana. You should have Shraddha, you should do Bhakti unto Bhagavan, and you should do meditation upon him. Through that you will get Jnana and you will merge with him. Nowhere here it is said that through carrying Trishulas or wearing such symbols that you will get moksha. And in other Shrutis, it is very clearly said, Nanya Pantha Vidyate. There is no other path. So, and further, Bhagavatpāda says this Bhaktagraganya, he also describes the Vishishtadvaita. Normally we think Vishishtadvaita means Vaishnava Vishishtadvaita, but Shaiva or Vaishnava is about the Upasya Devata, which they are dedicated towards. But Vishishta Advaita means that they are not accepting pure Advaita, that everything is Brahma Vastu only, but they are saying that even in truth, in Advaita Mata also, in Vyavahara Kala, we say that yes, all these Devas are there separately in Vyavahara Kala, but Paravartika Sthiti, there is only one Brahman, is what Advaita says. But the Vishishtadvaitis say that just like the wave and the ocean, the wave is part of the ocean, it is not separate from the ocean, but it is not the ocean itself. So just like that, we Jivas are part of Paramatma. Is very briefly what this Amshamshi Bhava means. So normally it is perceived that Vishishtadvaita means Vaishnava Vishishtadvaita. But here it is said that this Bhaktagraganya was actually propagating Shaiva Vishishtadvaita. His Ishtadevata was Shiva, but he was also saying that we are also Amshas, parts of Shiva. And then somebody asks, okay, because we are Shiva Bhaktas, we wear his symbols. So just like when there is a king and there are the followers of the king will carry the same flag as the king, then to that one should ask back, say, okay, there are some symbols which are common to the king, just like you say, whatever kind of flag the king is sporting on his chariot, all his retinue or all his sena will be carrying that. But the Shweta Chhatra, the white umbrella, that is reserved for the king alone, isn't it? If somebody else says, I am not the follower of the king, so I will also wear the Shweta, use the Shweta Chhatra, will any Raja Bhattas or the kings sit and watch that silently? No. So it is not possible to say that whatever is the Raja is wearing everything, wearing or using, everything is applicable to the Bhrityas. That is not true. Right? So likewise, if Shiva is wearing the Trishula and if Shiva is wearing the Damaru, okay, he is wearing that, but Shiva is also wearing snakes on his body and he is also capable of drinking the Halahala Visha. It is not possible to say that we should also wear snakes on our body or we should also drink Halahala, or even in any other normal Visha we are not able to drink. So, whatever Shiva does, we should do. It is not like that. Whatever Shiva tells us to do, that we have to do. It is not possible to mimic or imitate whatever Shiva is doing. That is not our duty. There is no such pramana for us to do that. Like Shiva is wearing bhasma, you also wear bhasma. Okay, fine. For that Shastra Pramana is there. Shiva is wearing Rudraksha, you also wear Rudraksha. For that Shastra Pramana is there. But not as the rest of it. So, all these other symbols, you cannot say that the Vedas or Shastras are insisting on those symbols, or you cannot claim that just by wearing those symbols somebody will get moksha. So, what do you have to do? Huh? Vedokta karma samarpanam bhagavati kritva. Even Krishna, what does he say in the Bhagavad Gita? Ishvara sarva bhutanam hrideshe arjuna tishtati. He says, O Arjuna, Ishvara, even if you say the word Ishvara commonly refers to Shiva, fine. That word Ishvara, that Ishvara, whoever it is, he lives in the Hridaya, and you have to do all your karma samarpana towards that Ishvara. Tameva sharanam gaccha sarva bhavena bharata is what Krishna says. So you have to do that, and you have to meditate that Jiva and Ishvara, whatever you are and whatever that Ishvara is one and the same. Idi kurvan dridhe tajnane janma marana pravaha karana moola jnana nivrttau. So whatever is the reason for the janma marana pravaha, the continuous cycle of births and deaths, what is the reason? Moola jnana, the core ajnana, that will be washed away, or it will disappear by the Dridha Shiva Swarupa Jnana. Shiva Swarupa Jnana, Shivoham Asmiti Jnana, the Jnana of being one with Shiva. And because through that, Linga Sharira Bhangattvara, just if the physical body falls, is there, do we get moksha? Definitely not. But beyond the Sthula Sharira, there is the Sukshma Sharira, there is the Karana Sharira, and through those Sharira, the Sukshma Sharira and Karana Sharira being destroyed, when we are relieved of that, only then we will get moksha, and that will be attained by the Ajnana Nivrti through Shivoham Asmiti Dhyana. And this is the Upadesha of Bhagavatpāda to all these people, and they are all great Shiva Bhaktas, and due to the fruit of their Shiva Bhakti and due to the Sannidhi of the Jagat Guru, they all felt that what Bhagavatpāda says is right. So they felt that, they realized that, they understood that Bhagavatpāda has absolutely not uttered any word to force them. It is, in fact, we may even say that Bhagavatpāda cannot be, anybody cannot force them. You can't force anybody to accept a Siddhanta. Accepting has to come from the heart. So all those Shiva devotees by name Bhaktadaganya and all his other followers, one Paramata Kalanada, he is the person whom later on at the end of this text it is described that Bhagavatpāda sent for the Shiva Mata Sthapana. So it is possible perhaps this Bhaktadaganya became old, so he was not sent, whatever reason that we have to see later on. But this Paramata Kalanala, here it is not described as if Paramata Kalanala himself comes forward and he does Vivada with Bhagavatpāda. Not in this chapter is there any such description. But and along with the Guru, even the Shishyas had absolutely no further objection to state, and they also realized that what Bhagavatpāda is saying is correct. And within Paramagurum Shri Shankara Vijayam Bhaktva Swabandhu Putra Mitradibhis Saha. So along with all their parivaras, Samyak Upadishtaha Shuddha Advaitino Bhakūho. So they properly received the Upadesha of Bhagavatpāda and became proper Advaitis. Anandagiri Krito Shivapatika Desha Nivarhanam Nama Prakaranam Panchavam. So thus ends the fifth Prakarana. Later on from the next session onward, the Vaishnava Mata discussion proceeds by the grace of the Guru. Let us do that in further sessions. Sarvavyapaka Chaitanya Rupena Adhyapi Tishtati Saeva Shankaracharyo Guru Mukti Pradasata. Jai Jai Shankara, Hara Hara Shankara.